I feel bad for Detroit. Like, I really do. I feel bad for the fans majority because like they have to wait all year and then somehow, some way with the roster they have right now, try to find a way to get excited about it. Like, there's just no way. I don't think Jared Goff is bad, but yeah, you got TJ Hawkinson and DeAndre Swift, but that is it, my guy. Like, this is the first offense I've seen where like I look at the receiving core and there's just no chance. That's a worse receiving core than Josh Allen had his rookie year when he had Robert Foster, Zay Jones, and Andre Roberts? I don't even remember. Buffalo lacked weapons back in 2017, 2018, but I mean Detroit right now is bad. I'm willing to bet that over the next 3 seasons in Detroit, Dan Campbell will be the most entertaining thing about the Lions. Alright, what is up guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we're actually going to be ranking every NFL wide receiver, but with a twist. So every list I found either has like 100 receivers, or it would only have like 15 receivers. There was no happy medium or in between. The list that you guys are going to see, I took all the rookies out of it while I moved them to the bottom of the list because I'm not going to sit there and act like I know how they're going to do in the NFL. And for the rest of the receivers go, I'm going to be going at, I would call a rapid rate. Not super fast, but I'm just going to be, you know, putting them in their category, giving you guys a very quick explanation of where I see them, and I'm moving on. One quick thing guys, head over to gfuel.com, use the logo Wyatt, head over to gfuel.com, use code Wyatt's World to save yourself a discount on any G Fuel products. Alright, let's go rank the receivers. Alright, so we're at the tier list. As you guys can see, we have a shit ton of people, which is why we're going to go quicker so this video doesn't last 10 hours. All the rookies out, like I said, I'm not going to even try. They're all rookies. We have no idea. So I have them in their own category of rookies. Above that, we have not a number one / trash, because I'm not really sure if there is trash receivers in here. I haven't really looked all that hard. But if they're not trash, then they're just not a number one in my eyes. Above that, we have serviceable / inexperience, meaning they could be good if you needed them to be, or they are good, but they just don't really play enough to be solidified as great. You know, because of injuries or whatever it may be. Top of that, we have solid. On top of solid, we've got great. And then obviously at the top of the ladder, we have top 5 or elite. What's up, guys? I'm just doing a last minute edit here. So on the tier list where you see that bottom category where it says, you know, trash, not at number 1, basically I want to clear the air on that. Throughout this video, when I put someone there, more times than none, you're going to hear me say, they're not trash, but they're not a number 1. So basically what I'm trying to say, and what I should have said from the beginning, is if they're in that bottom category, I have zero interest in them. Okay, so let's kick the list off with Devonta Adams. Obviously, he's going to go right to the top. I think he probably is the best receiver in football. He's tied with D-Hop in my opinion. Devonta Adams, a much better route runner. DeAndre Hopkins, I think he's got the best jump ball I've ever seen. He's a top dog. Up next, we've got Nelson Agor. He's serviceable. I would put him in solid, but like I said, there's certain days where this guy will catch every ball thrown to him, and then there's certain days where he'll drop the most routine passes ever. Can't be having that if you're going to be great, but he's not bad. Up next, we got Brandon Ayuk. He's going to go in here as well. Hasn't gotten to play a whole lot. I think he's the best receiver in San Francisco, though. Kittle does not count as a receiver, meaning yes, I think he's better than Debo. I'm expecting him to blow up this year, especially after Trey Lance takes over, probably in week 5. Up next, we got A.J. Brown. Great, absolutely. He got fucked in Madden. Everybody knows it. Like I even said last year, going into last year, I wasn't too high on this guy. He is one of the fastest, most physical, best receivers in the league right now. Titans offense is going to be a nightmare this year, dude. Up next, we got Keenan Allen. Yeah, he's great. He's quick. He's always open. His stats every year are consistent. Just wish he didn't think he was the best in the league. That's all. All right, up next, we got Robbie Anderson. He is definitely solid. He's borderline great. He had an absolutely fantastic season last year. I expect him to break 1,000 yards again this year, especially since he has Sam Darnold, but this guy is one fast son of a bitch. Also, like, just incredibly slept on. Like, you just don't ever hear people talk about Robbie Anderson. He's not bad. He never has been bad. He played for the Jets, not his fault. Up next, we got Cole Beasley. He's not a number 1, but he is one of the best slots in football. Like, technically, neither of these two are number 1s yet either. I'll put Beasley in serviceable / inexperience. But outside of the slot, his production's pretty much a flat line. He doesn't do a whole lot. He's not the biggest guy. He's not the strongest guy. He's never broken over 1,000 yards in his career even. Like, he's always just been, he's been serviceable. He's been good when you needed him. And he's done a lot for the Bills. And no, I don't care about his vaccination. Up next, we got Tyler Boyd. You guys know how I feel about him. He is solid and he is borderline great. Honestly, I should put him in great. Super productive, super underrated, and super overshadowed. Up next, we got Antonio Brown. He's still great. Fuck off. Still one of the best receivers in football. He proved it last year when he came back and played. Up next, Kelvin Ridley. Also great. He will be the man in Atlanta for a considerable amount of time. Now, I know they got Kyle Pitts, and Kyle Pitts is going to be probably used in more of a Julio Jones role considering of his size. But like I said previously, Kelvin Ridley is going to do what he's been doing for the next 10,000 yards, how many ever touchdowns he gets for the next 10 years. He's consistent. I like him. Up next, we got CD. He did good last year. He did quiet good because the Cowboys were so shit. Rookie season, just under 1,000 yards receiving, and I think he had like 4 or 5 touchdowns. The only word I could use to describe him, because I watched him so closely at Oklahoma when he played with Jalen Hurts, and I was such a big fan of him coming out of the draft, but he went to fucking Dallas. Anyway, CD Lamb, explosive. That's all I'm gonna say. He is explosive. Up next, we got DJ Chark. I might be the only person on planet Earth, but I don't hate him, and I don't think he's bad. I think he's solid. He had 1,000 yards 2 years ago. Last year, he had 700 yards with the worst team in football. All right, up next, we got Chase Claypool. Definitely solid. He did great last year. He's a touchdown machine. I got nothing else to say about him other than that. He's the only guy on their team, a matter of fact, that I don't want to punch in the face. I'll say that. Up next, we got Brandon Cooks. He's great. He is. Seriously, look at his numbers. Aside from this year where he played in Houston, he gets 1,000 yards and between 7 and 9 touchdowns every single year. Also, he happens to get clocked every year too. I don't know why. Just a thing, I don't know. But he's good. He's super underrated. Up next, we got Amari Cooper. He's obviously great. Like I said, I've expressed my frustrations with him. If he seems to play against any corner who has experience in the league, he gets locked down. And obviously, that's an exaggeration, but it just seems like more times than none that happens. Aside from that, it's Amari Cooper. He's one of the best receivers in football. Up next, we've got Corey Davis. I'm not a fan of him, I'm not gonna lie. Pretty much been a big bust because he was drafted like 4th overall. He's not trash, but he's not a number 1. Up next, we got Jamison Crowder. He's good in fantasy from time to time, but as far as his career and stats have gone, he has not ever done anything really even remotely impressive. I don't think he's shit, like he's not, but he's not a number 1 receiver either. All right, up next, we got Curtis Samuel. Ooh. I'll put him in serviceable, but if you look at his numbers, every single year, he's just gone up and up and up, and now he's going to Washington with Fitzmagic, who is going to be hucking the ball deep. Like, I think he actually could be really fucking good this year. Next up, we got Gabriel Davis. Again, with this whole, like, not experienced enough, I've gotten to see him play. He made some terrific catches last year. Shit, he won Buffalo a couple games, I think. But he's inexperienced as hell, and I don't know enough about him to call him anything other than, well, serviceable. All right, up next we got Deebo Samuel. This guy is always fucking hurt. I'll put him where I put Ayuk. I don't think he's as good as Ayuk. I know he's fast as shit, but I'm not a fan of him, dude. He doesn't fucking play. Up next we got Stefan Diggs. They already know how I feel about him, and I don't really think I'm being biased, even though people are going to say I'm being biased because I'm wearing Bills attire. Go look at his numbers. Go look at what he did last year. How many times are you going to find a wide receiver who is going to scratch and claw their way out of an organization, go into another organization, not only do exactly what the fuck he said he was gonna do, but almost brought that team to a Super Bowl? He is the goddamn GOAT! Up next, we got Deontay Johnson. I just talked about him in another video. I like him a lot, but he has some injury issues, and he does drop a few balls. Now, I don't need to knock Chase. Chase is newer, but he's better than Juju, and he's better than James Washington. It ain't even fucking close. Up next, we got DJ Moore, another great one. Dude, he came out of Maryland, the same place Diggs went. I wanted him to go to Buffalo so bad when they got drafted, but they got Tremaine Edmonds and Josh Allen instead, so DJ, he's good at everything he does. Like, that's it, and he's just getting better and better and better. He's strong, he's quick, he's agile, he can get the job done in any part of the field he needs to be at. Up next, we've got DK Metcalf, my man right here. Definitely a top 10 receiver in my book. He probably is going to finish top 5 after this year. I just can't do it yet. Up next, we got Big Mike. I don't need to talk about him. I love him too. I wish that he would get more respect, but he doesn't. 7 straight 1,000-yard seasons. This guy's a fucking beast. Up next, we've got Will Fuller. Very, very underrated. He's solid. He has injury issues, and he's got steroid problems. This guy stays healthy, and he stays out of trouble, though he is as good as anybody in the league. Up next, we got Michael Gallup. See, here's my issue with Michael Gallup. He's not bad, but he's only broken 1,000 yards once, and he's got Nelson Agor syndrome, meaning he is going to catch every ball or he's going to drop everything. I don't hate him, but I don't watch enough of him, and I'm just going to say he's serviceable, even though he's probably solid. Up next, we got Chris Godwin. He is definitely solid. I would put him in great, but he's just, I mean, he's being overshadowed at this point. He's got Mike Evans, he's got Antonio Brown, he's got fucking Gronk. Up next, we got Kenny Gallaudet. See, I used to have him in grade. I'm only going to put him in solid now because much like a lot of other people on this list, he's always fucking hurt. Now, I've gotten to see him do more than Debo. That's why I'm putting him above Debo. But I mean, Jesus Christ, man. Like, what are you made of, fucking glass? Up next, we got Nicole Hardman. I don't know if it'd be fair for me to call him like trash or anything, but like, I don't think that he's a number one, especially the fact that Tyreek Hill is on that team and Travis Kelce, even though he's technically not a receiver. All right, up next, we got T. Higgins. Absolutely solid as well. He had a very, very similar year to CD. I think he's a little bit less explosive, but I think he's a little bit more powerful. Up next, we got Tyreek Hill. Obviously still a top 5 guy. Well, I shouldn't say still. He's uprising into the top 5. He could even move up more. This guy was supposed to be undrafted because of, well, I think he had not only like a criminal case, but he had just some attitude issues. But when he got picked, he's been pretty much nothing but an ace. All right, up next, we got T.Y. Hilton. Fuck, dude. I think he's washed. I'll say he's serviceable still, but I'm not high on T.Y. Up next, we got Deandre Hopkins. We talked about him a little bit already. He is argued as the number 1 with Adams, in my opinion, at least. He's got the best jump ball in the game. Have you seen the guy's hands before, by the way? They're like this long. He never drops balls. He never makes mistakes. He's always great. He's just always D-hop. Next, we got Justin Jefferson. I'm going to put him in great. Call me biased, whatever. He got the Rookie of the Year, 1,400 receiving yards. He had a historical fucking season. I have every right to put him there. All right, up next, we got Scary Jerry Judy. He had less yards than CD and less yards than T. Higgins, but not by much, and Drew Lock was his quarterback. So I'm going to go ahead and say he's solid as well. He did not do bad last year. 800 receiving yards with a dog shit quarterback. Hats off to you, Jerry. Up next, we got Juju Smith-Schuster, 800 yards, 9 touchdowns, and it's about, what, 8 yards of reception? This guy doesn't do a goddamn thing. He runs 5 fucking yards, turns around, catches the ball, and drops to the ground. I'll still give him solid. He's not worse than that, but he's definitely not great. Up next, we got Father Time himself, Julio, still remaining in the top 5 for me. Like I said, I refuse to live in a world where Julio Jones is not a top 5 receiver as of right now, at least. After this year, however, I do expect him to fall because he's 32 years old. Julio will always be great. He will always be the most complete package the NFL has ever seen. He is a first ballot Hall of Famer, no doubt a fucking about it, but unfortunately his time is ticking. All right, up next we got Cooper Kupp, underrated heavily in my mind. He's a fantastic, I think he's a slot receiver majority of the time, but he's a fantastic receiver in general. For now, however, though, I'm just going to toss him in solid. All right, up next we got Jarvis Landry. Weird. He has a weird career. It's just like everybody sees him as a number 1, but he never is, but when he needs to be, he's definitely plays as one. Like it's weird. He's in a weird spot. I'm gonna give him solid for sure. But up next, we got Tyler Lockett. He's great. I've talked about him in previous videos as well. Super underrated, super undervalued. I'm happy he got paid. Up next, we got Hollywood. Dude, I don't fuck with Hollywood anymore. Like, the 2 years, it was all right, man, but I don't see a whole lot coming out of that guy. Up next, we got Marvin Jones Jr. I just talked about him as well. Super underrated, super productive guy. He's never going to be a number 1, but he's going to get you 7 to 9 touchdowns, and he's going to step up when you need him. All right, up next, we got Scary Terry going right above Scary Jerry in the great category. He's one of the 3 that I named alongside Justin Jefferson and DK Metcalf to kind of take over the league and be the new generation as these older guys start to fan out. Knows the plays, knows the routes, and if he can read the defense while he's running, he's going to call an audible himself and get open. I love it. Up next, we got Mooney. I think this guy's name is Darnell Mooney. He's the Bears' 3rd string last year. I don't know shit about the guy, and I'm just gonna put him down. Up next, we got OBJ, one of the most talented people in the league and one of the most talented people the NFL's ever seen. I'm gonna put him in great, and there is a good chance he's gonna be top 5 after this year too. If he just, well, I think at least what he's gonna do is explode. All right, up next we got Davonte Parker. This guy's a goddamn bust, dude. Fuck it. Not trash, but he is not a number 1. He's been in the league for like 7 or 8 years now, and he's had 1 season where he lived up to 1st round potential. Other than that, he's been a nothing but a bust. Up next, we got Michael Pittman. I think this guy is going to be fucking good, man, but he's inexperienced too. He doesn't have the time on the field. I think he got hurt once or twice last year. His quarterback situation now certainly isn't pretty. Up next, we got just despite the Eagles fans, dude, for picking this fucking bozo over Justin Jefferson, he's clearly not a number 1. They already drafted another receiver to take his place. Plus, Travis Fulgham and probably Whiteside will get some reps along with him. He was a fucking disaster. I know he got hurt, but that, I mean, that was just stupid. Up next, we got Allen Robinson. I'm still laughing, dude. I mean, why? Allen Robinson, great borderline elite. I love the guy. He's been putting up consistently elite numbers in Chicago with a dog shit quarterback from the moment he landed in there. And before that, he was putting up elite numbers in Jacksonville with a dog shit Blake Bortles. Up next, we got Henry Ruggs, serviceable, inexperience, quick as a gun, but man, that seems like that's the fucking plan. If they're not going to throw it to Darren Waller, they're just going to send 3 receivers down the fucking field as far as they can go. Like, it's nothing Ruggs does, but he's not in John Gruden's game plan. All right, up next, we've got Leviska Chanel. Now, this is a guy that everybody is, like, so high and mighty on. Like, I'm not saying shit against him, but why? Last year, he had 600 yards and, what, I don't know, 3 or 4 touchdowns, maybe? Could be more, but I don't know. Like, he's definitely not, like, I'll put him in inexperience, like, honest to God. Like, up next, we got Cortland Sutton. I know he is solid, and honestly, he might even be great, but he got hurt so early last year with the ACL. He missed an entire fucking season. I can't really rant and rave about him. All right, up next, we got Adam Thielen, my guy. He's still great, dude. Look at his fucking numbers if you need to. I hate it when I have to put Vikings up here because everybody immediately resorts to calling me a biased piece of shit. 14 touchdowns and like just under 1,000 yards. Like, he is still as good as he ever was. Up next, we got Michael. Fuck you, man. Fuck you. I just don't, I haven't looked at somebody and wanted to fly through a monitor and just this whole... On the real though, Michael Thomas, he's a great receiver. Everybody fucking knows it. I have my questions about his productivity. I never once have thought he was the best in the league, and he never deserved a 99. But the reason I question his productivity is just because when he had Drew Brees and he had all those targets and all those yards, you can even go and look it up. He was targeted over 100 times more than anybody else on that team. Who isn't gonna pad stats with that? That's my... You know, he's great. He's a nice guy, and I'm sure he has a fucking wonderful family. All right, up next, we got Mike Williams. Some people want to call this guy a bust. I tend to disagree. He's only been in the league for like 4 years, and he did have a big season, I think, 2 or 3 seasons ago. Now, the thing about Mike Williams, he's a big guy. He's 6'4", 6'5", and he just got Justin Herbert, who has got a cannon of an arm. This won't happen, but I wouldn't be shocked if he actually ended up with more yards than Keenan this year. As far as his placement goes, I'm going to put him as serviceable / inexperienced just because I personally have not gotten to watch him play, like, hardly at fucking all. And last but not least, my guy, Robert Woods. Underrated. I love him to goddamn death. So the last time I had Robert Woods, I put him in great, and I think he is great, but I'm going to be as fair as I can be here with a new quarterback coming, which they're both going to do better, him and Cooper Kupp. I'm going to put him in solid. Woo! All right, 57 minutes, and we just ranked, what, like 70 fucking wide receivers? Not bad on the timing. I hope you guys like my official wide receiver ranking tier list. Alright guys, and that is going to be all for today's video. I hope you guys like this tier list video. I think we just got tight ends to do yet. Like I said, I don't really plan on doing like jerseys or logos or anything like that. I might try to stumble into defense eventually, but just a little bit harder to do. It's a little bit harder for me to give reasons, I should say. Anyway, if you guys like this video, you already know what to do. Go ahead, hit the thumbs up, comment, like, subscribe, turn your little bell on. I post every single day, well, that I can. I haven't missed a day in almost a year though, so hey, let's keep plugging at it. With all that said, you guys know the drill though. I'm going to hop off and edit this so you guys can watch it. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day, and as always, I will see you in the next video.